I am on my way back from the Meadows. Just raced Braemar, finished 5th. You know, tough to get a gauge on that mile. I didn't think he was very good. We changed his shoes, put aluminums on him. He was hanging on the right line. He actually clipped Drew Monty's wheel coming out of the last turn. Now, was he going to be second? If he had been charging, yes, easy second. But he wasn't. He was coasting. He went by some dead wood, some horses pinned down on the inside. Ended up 5th. That 5th could have been 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. But it should have been a 2nd. And I had asked him to scope him after. I liked him better last time with the full sweat shoes on, right? We put aluminums on him today. That was the first time ever for aluminums. I really thought they would pick this horse up, and they didn't. They didn't. Changed his bridle from a closed to a hood with cups. You would have tried that last year. He would have kicked you right out of the bike. But today, I just thought that was the right move. And it wasn't. I couldn't get him out of the gate. Usually this horse just screams off the car. You know, left turn to lead from the inside the way he did last week was a pretty good feat. That same pop out of the gate was not there today, that's for sure. So we didn't get away well. We had to take what we were given, but we were given an opportunity to be second. Sure, you know, hitting that wheel probably cost him a length, maybe some momentum, but he just felt like he was going by horses. He wasn't digging through the wire, and I don't know why. So they're going to scope him after the race and see what's up with him. Had some bad news with My Jazz. Had to scratch her this morning. A little bit of bad news the last 2 days. It was overshadowed by me finding a place. Everything seemed to be fitting into place nicely. And then we had Kathy with an eye. Continues to be a little bit sick. We had to take her to the university and get her checked out, get her looked at. Of course, people call. But hopefully she'll be okay. You know, you guys saw us go through this with another horse a couple of years ago, just out of the blue, ended up with pneumonia. And you might say to yourself, as I did, well, there's no way that a horse just gets pneumonia out of the blue. This is a filly that trained good on a Saturday. Hung her head a little bit in the stall Sunday. Some of them do, but she ate. No temperature. Monday, started spiking a temperature. Hanging her head in the stall, come off her feet a little bit. Had the vet check her Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning. We treated the temperature. Then it was decided that, you know, sounded a little crackly in her lungs. Okay, stopped her immediately. You know, kept her on anti-inflammatories for her temperature, which really didn't jump that high. We've had horses with bad temperatures off and on this year. Lots of people did. Didn't seem sick. Ate her lunch, ate her supper. Didn't seem like a sickly horse, but and to be quite frank, we had the veterinarian, our veterinarian now, Dr. Angelica Bozenjak, who was with McMaster, went on her own. We have Chris McMaster Clinic still doing work, and Angelica is doing work also, and we still have Dr. McKee. Lots of very capable, very smart people in our area. Angelica was taking care of this filly, so she was checking in on her every day, regularly. Got a call yesterday and said, I just don't like what I see. She should be better. She's not. So we elected to take her to the university, and they said, yeah, she's got pneumonia, and it is in a frustrating place in her lung, obviously. So we're getting her treated. So hopefully she gets over that. Then and then last night, as I'm finding out about this, Jason tells me that My Jazz, I saw she was a little pinchy in the morning jogging. I knew exactly what it was, especially when I talked to him. The time frame that was presented to me was she qualified great. I loved what I saw in the qualifier. She trained great on Tuesday. Now, in all the hustle and bustle of her being sick and having a little tied up and bled a little bit and being put on Lasix, the first issue that she had happened 3 days before her original qualifier that was quite poor. She had jumped on her foot. There was a piece of machinery doing work or something. Jason said she shied away from it, jumped on her foot. Not horrible. You know, drew blood. There was a cut, laceration there, but it's not unlike a horse to do that. It happens all the time. And it had been over the time when we had to put her on Lasix and give her time and treat her for 6 months, get her back. Through all that, she just seemed like she was fine. She had a window bar on that foot. Now, you guys know through in the past, if you followed me, a window bar is like a normal shoe that takes pressure. It's exactly how it sounds. It's a bar shoe that takes pressure off of an area, usually left or hind quarter of the horse's foot. The inside quarter of her foot was sore, so they had a window bar on her. She qualified great with the window bar on, no issues. Trained good on Tuesday. Now, here's the thing. That cut had bled off and on as it was healing a little bit, which meant it was draining, right? Tuesday, Jason trained and said, good news, that cut didn't even bleed at all. He said everything is working perfectly. Everything is looking perfectly heading into the weekend, into today. So it never crossed my mind again until I saw her jog Thursday. I said, hey, did her foot bleed on Wednesday? No, it's been good. It didn't bleed Thursday either. See, what had happened was sometimes you'll get a little surface infection in there, like a little dirt, or you can call it whatever you want. A little pimple abscess forms in there, inside. And because the foot healed over, not bleeding anymore, not draining anymore, it creates pressure. It has to create pressure. It's like a pimple. The only way to pop it out, you got to pop it out of a horse's foot. You don't imagine the pressure to pop something out of a foot. She got quite sore and uncomfortable on it. She came off the track. We pulled the shoe off, took the shoeing knife and cut that foot open a little bit on the side, just the hoof. Sure enough, there's the blood, and it came out right away, quite strong, which meant there was a lot of pressure there. Now, I'm not a blacksmith, but we got the pressure off it. I'm thinking probably better than a coin flip that we'd be able to race her. Now, this is yesterday. Better than a coin flip that she'd race. And be competent, be good. But also because that little infection in there and that discomfort spiked just a hair of a temperature, 100.3, something like that yesterday. I wasn't concerned about that. We couldn't treat the temperature too close to the race. Now we're getting into a position where if this temperature doesn't come down and she doesn't act sound right away, we're not going to be able to race her. But I'm still in my head thinking, we're going to come in Saturday morning, she's going to be ripping the bucket off the wall, her foot's going to feel better, we're good to go. I really thought that's what would happen, and it happens all the time that way, but not every time. And we get in this morning, temperature still of 100.2 or 3, not too high, but it's temperature. And she's still a little pinchy on that foot. Now, could she have raced? If she was in a non-winners of 2 at Northfield tonight, you'd be like, yeah, she can race. But she's not. She's racing against the best fillies, trotting fillies in Ohio, trained by the smartest, best people, driven by the best drivers. You think you're going to come in there kind of so, maybe okay, good? Good luck. Pack a lunch. It's not going to be a good night for you. And as tough as that filly is, I don't want to test her toughness, right? She's proven time and time again how durable and focused and tough she is. She doesn't deserve to go down there and race there tonight. So it was a pretty easy answer. The second we saw the thermometer, the second we saw her virtually walk out, we knew she wasn't racing today. It's not the end of the world. I say by Sunday, I think she'll probably be 100% or close enough to it to train. We'll train her on Tuesday, get her tight. Now the second problem is the proximity to the staking. Can't race in the Scarlet and Gray, which is a great prep race heading into the Ohio Sires. So Jason says, well, we should have her probably good for next Sunday. I said, no, not next Sunday at all. Next Saturday, the Buckeye. We're not good enough to race against them today. We're certainly not going to give them a head start with another prep race and then race against them next Sunday. No. Let's race her in the Buckeye, make sure we have her 100% next time. And if she's good enough, she belongs in the final and she deserves to be there, she'll get there. And there's lots of racing for this filly for the rest of the season. So a little unfortunate speed bump again, the second one this year for My Jazz, but I believe we handled them both appropriately and professionally. And I believe she will be fine for next Saturday. Next Saturday is the Buckeye. We're going to race Mama Knows Best, I'm a Lovely Lady, and now My Jazz in the Buckeye. We do not have Miss Meringue or Rose Run Why Not ready yet. Both fillies, Miss Meringue's getting tightened up, and Rose Run Why Not was still a little dinky on that leg, so not really ready to be pushed yet. I don't want to push that filly yet. So when they're ready, we can't, if you start forcing things, that's when you make mistakes, and that's when horses get hurt. So we have to continue to do what's right for the horses and what's best for the horses, and we will. Still a long year for us in Ohio, especially when I'm here now. So that's it. My Jazz was crappy news. I wasn't really thrilled with Braemar today, but got a house. Pretty happy about that. Gonna rain tomorrow night. Now, Curtis thinks he's got everything in place for us to drone from Ontario live. And we have a man here who is going to record, a video person from the Northfield Park Racetrack is going to record our sets also live. Curtis believes, I don't know how he's going to pull it off, don't ask me how, but he believes he can control them both, and he can bring them both to you simultaneously. That is an incredible feat. I have the sets up right now, kind of. If you know how to get on the set list, you can see them at the bottom of the Ohio sets. I only have sets of 3. Billy Davis, Travis Henry, Anthony McDonald. I think we have Jason in one of them. Jason's busy training all the 3-year-olds on the other side. Keep in mind, we have 2 stables here. This isn't just a baby burn. We have 44-something horses here. And more on the way. James is going to head for a few weeks to New Jersey and New York to race at the Meadowlands and Yonkers. That's what I've been told by him. I am going to take the horses that he was in charge of. 3 Point Blue Chip will win Hanover for sure, coming to Ohio. We'll take 3 other ones over. And I may even send a Galarian after her start on Wednesday at the Meadows. I may send her to James and a trainer of his choice to work with. He gets along really well with her. She fits him really, really well. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, and James is an incredibly good driver. This filly fits him like a glove. So I would actually rather James hang on with her. She only has to be here. She has to be in Philadelphia. Now, don't quote me on that, but I believe the first Buckeye is in Buckeye Stallion Series is in Philadelphia. If James is still here on May 21st, he's welcome to drive her, but I suspect he'll be scurrying back to Ontario, hoping that the province opens up the way it's supposed to. So when it comes to James, I guess all this is still up in the air. He tells me he's going, but I'll believe it when I see him cross the border. But for now, the plan is to race a Galarian here, potentially send her with him down to the Meadowlands area, which isn't far from Philadelphia. So that should suit him well. And what else do we got? Tomorrow it's going to rain at night, which is awesome. No, it's not supposed to rain in the morning, so we should get our babies trained. It's supposed to rain at night, though, and I got like 6 drives. Gray is a new red, 5-2 out of the 7-hole. I took a lot of flack last week. I put her up for sale, said she was in the sale in Ohio, and took some flack from her owners, and I made it pretty clear to everybody I could. Listen, we can, I had some very good questions. Why don't we bring her home and race her at Flamborough in London? Okay, we're going to start shipping condition claimers around. I mean, it didn't end well with Miss Brampton Beast this year, and I don't think it would end very well with Gray as a New Red. Let's see how she races. I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, she's going to race through the duration of that series. It's the sale's on May 11th, and I think the series is over before then. So we'll see what happens with Gray as a New Red and Well and Down. I put them both in the sale because if it doesn't look like they're going to be effective horses, if they get beat up in this series and they can't race in the Buckeye, you just want to race the horse you want to pay me to race her in the fairs all year? I mean, I know you love the horse, and I don't mind her. She raced good. Any horse that can get my sorry ass to the winner's circle is okay by me. But when it comes to long term, right? The long game of what is in store for Gray as a New Red, other horses, Well and Down, and Keystone Raven, Cut the Line. Come on, I apologize because we've kept at least 2 of those names way too long. But the first 2 names, let's just wait and see. If they get beat up in the series, we don't have many places to race them. If they do good in the series, okay, so we have their names in the sale. That doesn't mean they have to go to the sale. There's no obligation to go to the sale just because they're there. Just hedging our bets is what I said the other day. So before everybody gets too upset, just because those horses show up in the sale catalog does not necessarily mean they're going to sell. But I would like to have the option. So that's where we're at with those 2. That's Saturday. Sunday we're not racing. Monday we get some horses racing in the U.S. Here, the U.S. I don't think I'm racing until I don't even know. Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe, I guess. So I'm going to spend all night getting moved in and trying to climb into a reasonably comfortable bed and try to get things on track. So the burn's on track. The horses are good. Braemar was a little flat. My Jazz was scratched, but those horses will be fine. There's no issues there. Excited about next week. We got a number of the horses back in to go at Northfield Park, back in to go at the Meadows, and then we'll see how the summer starts to shape up. So I hope you guys are all right. I know for those of you in Canada, the lockdown sucks. I see the cases are still rising. It's very concerning. I know a lot of people ask me to elaborate on where we're at right now with Massachusetts. Nowhere right yet. I did draw the papers on War We Welcome today because she was racing, because she is ready to go. But we have to, if you can't tell me where we can race at least 3 starts outside of Ontario before we have to go back, then I don't think we can send the horses. I've been really flip-flopping on this, and I've walked back some statements where I said we are going to move them. I could. I will. I just want to make sure it's a right step, because the last thing we're going to do is afford. This isn't just a financial mistake. If I get those horses to Pennsylvania, race them once, they do so-so or get beat up, and then we ship them all the way back. That's not just a financial mistake. That is a mistake. And it could be a very big mistake for the stable. You could be tiring horses out at the start, get them beat up, get their morale down. I just want to make sure we're doing the right thing. So, excited tonight to go home and watch Perfect Record race in the Meadowlands. I know my brother Mark is pretty high on him. He thinks he'll be doing good. He thinks he can do good tonight, so we'll see. For me, right now, I just want to get back to a place, to a house, not a hotel. That's where I'm on my way right now. So, I do hope you're all in good spirits. I certainly hope you're all healthy. Hope you're having a good day, and I will talk to all of you very, very soon. Take care.